Not sure if transceiver or giant dildo. On that note, how's it going, guys? Thunderbuddy 01 here along with
Sperm Cell X.
What?
You just did the troll face for a second.
What? Jesus Christ. But
Kettle X.
Yeah, and on this episode of Radio Reviews, we're probably going to be taking a look at probably the bulkiest radio we've ever reviewed.
Probably the most elongated weather radio.
Yeah, probably ever since we reviewed Javier's Unit. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Baofeng. Excuse me. UV5R V2 Plus with the extended battery pack. So, yeah, this is called the RadioShack 21-1679A.
A stands for I don't know, but I like to think it stands for advisory because it has the advisory thing instead of statement.
All right.
And it also has different tones than the regular 21-1679A. I actually have the Sirens, so you don't necessarily have to self-activate it.
All right. If you could send those to me in my messages, that would be absolutely perfect, because I do not feel like busting out my self-activation kit for this.
Yeah, I mean, I could just pull it up right now.
All right. But yeah, we're gonna get started on this Radio Reviews episode, and yeah, we're gonna be taking a look at this giant brick that looks like a freaking handheld landline phone. So yeah, let's just get into this review. Okay, so extremely large battery pack, which I assume I'm not. This it says this is for use with the 21-1679A, but I'm not sure if this is one of those batteries where it's like you can just, I don't know, like swap out for a smaller one. But this looks to be held in with a screw, and this looks like this takes a center positive like WR300 style adapter for charging. And you have this tiny screen up here with these buttons here. And if I turn it on, freaking Maxon WX80 head ass with a startup.
Yep.
Right here you have your you have the backlight controls here. I'm not sure what the HLB button does.
HLV?
Yeah, HL beep right here.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Keep in mind, some of these features I don't even know about myself, so. And you have and this is also a CB radio too.
Yep.
So. Yeah, I don't think there's anything really going on right now. And this is a transceiver, so there's a push to talk button here. Do not use this, because at least if you don't have a CB license, because actually I might sound stupid saying that, but I'm just saying this like out of an abundance of caution. Do not transmit unless you know what you're fucking doing. I think you need a license to transmit on CB bands, but honestly I would just recommend getting this as like a weather radio just to be safe. But yeah, this thing, like I said before, this thing just looks like a freaking handheld phone. And I believe this has a key lock on it. I just discovered that right here. But yeah, looks pretty bulky. Looks like a freaking, like at first glance, it looks like one of those freaking old RadioShack handheld scanners, like the RadioShack Pro scanners. But this is obviously something much different. So with that out of the way, let's go over the first function, which is the I say the function, but the first feature that this radio has, and probably the most notable one with this model, the different sirens that this radio has. Okay, so the sirens on this radio. So this, believe it or not, actually has SAME on it, from what I'm being told.
Mm-hmm. It does.
So, and obviously those of you who are just discovering this series, SAME stands for Specific Area Message Encoding, which is basically your radio saying, hey, there's an alert in effect for this area until this time. It's standard on most desktop radios now, but I feel like some manufacturers like Running Snail and all of them are kind of doing that service a little bit of an injustice. But yeah, so it'll sound different. So this radio will sound different sirens depending on the alert that you receive, and I don't think you'll be able to see it all that well on here. No, I don't think so. Not without probably without self-activating it. But actually,
wait, I have a photo right here.
Oh, you do? Okay.
So, yeah. So right here, as you can see, my 21-1679A is displaying watch. So, right here, I think, on the top, it'll display ADV when activating for an advisory. It'll display WCH for watch and WRN for warning. So, yeah, all with the box around it. So.
Yeah, and do you happen to have, like, you said you have a clip of the siren, right?
Yeah, I have all 3 clips of the warning, watch, and advisory lights. Oh yeah, also, another notable thing, if there is a warning and watch in effect, it'll just light both of them up.
That is pretty cool.
Yep. So, alright, I already have these. So, here's the 21-1679 advisory siren. It kind of sounds like an HH54 VP or something like that.
It sounds like a drunk HH.
Yep.
And then, if I may, here is the watch siren. And then the warning siren.
It sounds like a 12-251.
Yep.
And this is in comparison to the, here's the comparison.
Oh, my bad.
Hold on a second. 21-1679. Here's the comparison between the statement siren and advisory siren right here. So those two, like the regular 1679 and the 1679A, will sound different for like weekly tests and obviously warnings. This actually just sounds like with like different semitones or something like that.
Yeah.
This sounds really cool. I honestly feel like the regular 21-1679 had a better watch siren though.
Yeah, just from hearing those alone, it sounds a lot better.
Yeah. Hopefully when there's a review on the 21-1679, the statement or regular version, these tones can also be discussed and compared along with, you know, the 21-1679A. And I generally like the sirens on this thing, especially because it's generally rare for a Citizens band radio to have SAME. Albeit it doesn't display the alert, but rather the alert type with the boxes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is the siren and the display.
All right. So next, I'm probably going to showcase a little bit of the Citizens band because I'm obviously not going to transmit because, well, I really don't want people getting on my ass for it. And just to showcase that this radio has it, we tried showcasing the scanner feature on the BC148 XLT, but we couldn't really do that. But so let's talk about the CB band a little bit. Okay, so the Citizens band. So to access this, you press this button right here. And you use these buttons on the side here to switch between the channels. there is four different channels, 40 different channels that you can tune into on here. I'm just gonna turn on the backlight. And there's a channel 9 and 19 scan, which basically, if my assumption is correct, this will basically scan for like if there's any activity on channels 9 or 19, which I believe are like probably the most used frequencies on the Citizens band. Mm-hmm. So if it detects any activity, it'll probably my guess is that it'll probably look for activity on there, and if it lights up, then well shit, you'll be probably notified of it right then and there.
Yep.
You can also use the squelch knob to kind of tune between whatever you have, and you actually get a little signal meter over here. I actually just realized this, so I say realize, but depending on the channel that you're tuning into, if you're receiving something, the signal meter will go up. We're actually getting something, holy shit.
Barely.
Yeah.
But you get the point. It does access those Citizens Band's channels, and
yeah, and if you
specifically dedicated for that.
Yeah.
And weather alert.
Yeah, and if you had a license to transmit on CB, you can use the push to talk function and transmit on there. But like I said, do not do this if you don't have a license, because yeah, you will kind of be getting the FCC on your ass probably. But yeah, aside from that, weather band, you just use those same buttons to tune to different channels.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's
I also just got a DM from DB and the Houseman, since he has the statement and advisory versions of those radios. Both of those, both the regular and the advisory version of this radio. And he said the HL beep button does two things. If you want to press it, it switches between high power 4 watts or low power 1 watt when using the push to talk function.
Okay.
And if you hold it, it enables and disables button beeps apparently.
Oh, okay, shit. So let's talk about the button beeps then, since this apparently has it. All right, so to enable the button beeps, you just gotta press and hold the HL beep button.
I never even realized this until now, so shoutouts to DB and the Houseman for telling me about this.
So here is the valid button beeps and the invalid. Let me see if I... Okay, so the button beeps are at a fixed volume.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so that's pretty much the button beeps, a pretty standard feature.
10 miles an hour. Wednesday, sunny in the morning.
Alright, so...
It sounds exactly like a WR100 and 300.
It does, at least with the valid button beeps. The invalid button beeps, it kind of sounds like... What does it sound like? I mean, I know what it sounds like, but it's like, what would this be comparable to?
Wait, push it again. Maybe the 12-250.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Lows in the upper 50s.
Or maybe the 12-253.
Highs in the mid 80s.
That's possible too,
Friday
yeah.
night,
Yeah.
mostly clear in the evening.
But yeah, that's pretty much the button beeps on this thing.
Saturday.
Let's talk about the reception on here. We're only going to be doing the indoor reception because this battery pack is more dead than my future. So yeah, we'll be doing that next. Okay, so the reception on here. We can really only get like one channel inside. So
unless we really tried and try to get KIH42 or something like that.
yeah, but given where we are, I doubt it. Plus, considering how old this radio is.
Mm-hmm.
Now looking at the weather patterns affecting the southern Great Lakes and Ohio Valley region. A cold front will move through.
Oh, there's squelch, I think.
Actually, let's see, if I turn off the squelch. Oh, so it's one of those. So it's one of those things where it's like, if you
Exchange 46, Miamisburg, Ohio.
it's like one of those things where if you're like tuning, and you're getting a station that's like no signal at all, it'll automatically shut the speaker off to like prevent the speaker from getting damaged. Which that I find to be pretty cool.
Yep.
But it's a pain in the ass when you go to DX with this thing, which I don't know why you would want to DX with this thing, because like there's dedicated radios for that.
As far as I know, DV and the Houseman said that this radio is generally pretty good for DXing. As I've seen some videos for him getting, since he lives in like northern Wisconsin, he gets stations from all the way in like upper Minnesota, like across the Lake Superior, since it propagates all the way over to northern Wisconsin.
Wow.
Using that 21-1679. So, from his videos, we can assume that it's generally pretty good for DXing. Maybe on the level of like HH54 VP good.
Probably.
Yeah. But since I don't necessarily have a charger, we can't necessarily explore this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it looks like this takes like a standard WR300 plug. But
Well, or WR100.
no, for the battery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to figure that out eventually.
Alright. But yeah, I just realized we skipped over the speaker quality, so let's do that first. Alright, so speaker quality. You probably know the drill. Just start off low and then gradually turn it up.
It waves higher in near thunderstorms. The water temperature off Toledo is 75 degrees, off Cleveland 52 degrees, and off Erie 65 degrees. The official National Weather Service forecast.
So, speaker quality is kind of okay. You can notice it gets a little distorted once you turn it up higher, but
It's pretty okay.
yeah, not the best, but it's not the worst. I'd say it's like probably like halfway if I could like take a gander here.
It's okay at best.
Yeah. So, short, sweet, simple, to the point. Let's talk about the build quality next. This battery is thicker than a Snicker. Oh my fucking god. but yeah, the build quality on this thing. So, it seems to be pretty well made. I think this battery might just be like an extended battery option. I don't know if there's like a smaller battery that comes for that can be used for this. But the battery is held in pretty securely. It's held in by a clip and screw. The belt clip doesn't really look too promising in my opinion. But
Yeah, I haven't actually been able to like put the belt clip on anything really.
yeah,
And
it's
it's
just
not necessarily like adjustable, like as adjustable as say the 993 or HH54 VP belt clip is.
yeah. If anything, it's probably just there for show. The buttons feel okay.
To be fair, don't most police scanners feel like they have a belt clip just for show?
Probably.
I mean, that was the same case with my Pro 404 before I sold it.
Yeah, then you have the two balls. I mean, the two knobs up top. They're all right. The antenna, I just realized it's bent.
It is. I had to extend it not extend it, but I had to like face it forward just so it doesn't necessarily look weird. But like if you face it on the side, then you can really see that it looks kind of bent.
Hey, I have a friend. But
I tried to bend it back in place like Michael did with AJ's iPad like recently.
oh goodness.
that was a little bit like that, but yeah, I haven't been able to successfully do that, but hopefully one day I can actually manage to get it.
Yeah, and plus, if anything, this looks like a standard. This looks like an antenna that could be used like from a BC 125 AT or something. You could probably just get a new antenna for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all shit aside, personally, this antenna, kind of bent. But otherwise, the build quality, I'd say it's pretty good. RadioShack radios are typically good with build quality, unless it's like something jank like the like that fucking realistic over there.
Yeah. Literally, the moment I tried to take it apart, the screws just like all kind of stripped, and the antenna was like really difficult to get back on.
Jeez. Yeah, but this is actually one of the better built RadioShack radios, if I'm honest. Like, the plastic is not hollow. It doesn't feel hollow at all. It looks like it's got some strength and rigidity to it. Other than that, honestly, I'd say this is pretty well built. Let's get into the final thoughts on this thing. You can see how fast these episodes go by when I'm the one filming. All right, so the final thoughts on the 1679. Yeah. Oops.
Confused it with the
1476, the 121476 that I have back at home.
Yep.
But yeah, this radio is pretty good. Like I said, don't use the CB band and don't transmit on there unless you have a license to. Other than that, it's pretty good with reception. Try to find like a charger for this thing if you can. This looks like it could take a standard WR300 cord. We might test that off camera. But honestly, just be careful if you do decide to get this thing for the CB portion of it. Just only use it to listen. Don't tune in and just transmit when something's going on, because then one, you'll just look like an ass, and two, you might just have some pretty angry people from the big men down in probably Maryland on your ass.
Number 3, you probably are guaranteed to have a small dick.
Yes. But yeah, with that being said, this pretty much concludes this episode of Radio Reviews. Now this will be the last one that I'll be directing, because I believe Michael is going to be doing a radio that's not here with us. It's Kits, but it's not here with us. It's actually over in Louisville with Warner HWX-A79A and Miss Valerie. Miss VR, excuse me. I mean, I know they're the same thing, but yeah, on that note, be sure to strike some likes, slap that subscribe button, and twist that notification bell. Also be sure to subscribe to Kid LX, and even though he's not in the room at the moment, also be sure to subscribe to Dune Blaze 1996, as well as Clay Ranger 143 and Warren HWX-A798. And with that being said, this concludes this episode. What are you doing?
Nothing. I don't even have my camera open.
I saw you look up into your camera. I was like, okay, are you trying to get the troll face out of me? But yeah, with that being said, this concludes this episode. This is ThunderBuddy01 signing out, along with
ThunderPussy35.
Oh, fuck you.
Kid Alex.
Yep. And with that, this episode is done. Now on to the next episode, whatever that may be. It could be the SFA 150 or my Home Patrol 2, which, thanks for leaving it in a fucking plastic bin and not putting it back when you were done broadcasting the race, Michael.
The slander.
See you guys in the next video.